While parallel universes have been around for quite some time, the concept has only recently been made more popular in science fiction. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics explains the outcomes of quantum scale events by creating parallel universes. Although we have yet to see any evidence that proves the existence of parallel universes, this concept does have some interesting implications. Read on to find out how to contact yourself in another universe. Explanation of the multiverse. The original inflation theory was developed in 1980 by Guth and Lind and subsequently followed by eternal inflation with the multiverse theory in 1983. The multiverse is a vast collection of parallel universes, alternate worlds, and parallel worlds, all requiring some of the same physics and mathematics to be observable. This is different from the logically possible universe theory of David Lewis, which requires the multiverse to have all the necessary properties to be observable. The origins of the multiverse are difficult to explain, but the main idea is that there is more than one universe that is reversible. The present volume of the universe is the small center, while the previous, tiny volume is the large outer ring. The multiverse process, then, has no end and could produce an infinite number of universes. The multiverse is, therefore, a hypothesis that requires further study, not a conclusion. How to travel to parallel universes? Most kinds of events are the product of one or more of these interactions. The particles exchange carriers of these interactions with the air surrounding them. An example of this is a spilled milk. It involves the exchange of carrier particles, which are tiny fluctuations of fields, and the surrounding air. These interactions can explain the origin of various cosmological features, such as the presence of multiple universes. But, it is possible that more than one universe exists in the multiverse, and that each universe is related to the others. Moreover, the evolution of the universe has been accompanied by changes in its dimensions. According to current theory, the universe was created about 13.8 billion years ago. The expansion rate of the universe has been increasing by a factor of 7 since the Big Bang. Furthermore, scientists now think that the expansion rate of the multiverse is increasing exponentially. This is incompatible with the theory of the unified field. This theory has many implications for our understanding of the universe. Evidence of parallel universes. Those who believe in the existence of parallel universes may find some convincing evidence for their theory. Some recent experiments conducted by NASA have revealed particles from the parallel universe. This has raised the question, how can we detect these particles? One of the most well-known logic-defying experiments in physics is the double-slit experiment. The experiment reveals an interference pattern formed by light passing through two narrow slits. However, light is not merely a wave, it is also a particle, or photon, and not a wave. This theory is based on the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, which says that all possible outcomes of a situation occur. However, only one outcome can occur in any given universe, requiring an infinite number of parallel universes. As such, the many worlds theory is just as valid as any other. But whether there is a real possibility of parallel universes is a matter of personal choice, which is a very complex concept. Metafiction is another type of evidence for parallel universes. In metafiction, the created universe has a similar level of reality as the familiar one. Examples include H. G. Wells' Men Like Gods and Myers' Silverlock, as well as Heinlein's Number of the Beast. In the novel Harold Shea, Fletcher Pratt's character travels through parallel worlds, including the Fairy Queen and Ludovico Ariosto's Orlando Furioso. It's also possible that parallel universes could be a result of a collision of reality and fantasy. Comic books are another example of parallel universes. Marvel and DC Comics regularly revisit their what-if universes in major crossover storylines. In addition to comics, the authors of many popular novels use the concept of a multiverse to explore alternate realities and how they affect the main universe's continuity. DC's version is called the Elseworlds imprint. Its creator Michael Moorcock explains his reasoning for the concept in the 1999 book. Ways to contact yourself in a parallel universe. Several theories have emerged describing alternate universes and how to contact yourself in them. First, there is the idea of a parallel universe, a realm with different starting points than the one we are currently living in. A similar lifestyle to ours may exist in a parallel universe, which may explain why some people believe in alternate realities. Second, there is the possibility of contacting yourself in a parallel universe if you meet yourself in a previous lifetime. Despite the potential risks and benefits of contact, it may be worth exploring the possibility. A parallel universe is technically incorrect and is synonymous with another dimension. The term new dimension was first used in 1961's comic book The Flash number 123. In these parallel worlds, additional coordinate axes exist. Traveling along them allows one to explore worlds that are otherwise inaccessible. Moreover, these alternate worlds often have similar dimensions to our own. This way, they can be easily communicated with. Wormhole solution to black hole information paradox. The black hole information paradox is one of the many unresolved tensions between quantum mechanics and Einstein's general theory of relativity. It is an apparent contradiction: light cannot escape a black hole and its entropy grows as it is consumed. Hawking calculated that, once a black hole consumes something, it would emit radiation. That radiation would eventually reach zero, violating the principle of conservation of information. Hawking published his calculations in the Journal of High Energy Physics, which led to the paradox. The idea of a wormhole is a unique solution to this problem, and although the maths for a wormhole still hold true, it doesn't mean that they exist. In fact, the wormhole connection looks very similar to the radiation emitted from a black hole, not a wormhole. While it's not definitive proof that black holes have wormholes, it does suggest a theory that unifies quantum mechanics and general relativity. The wormhole theory fits well with Page's expectation. However, this wormhole solution is not universally applicable. It still remains unclear how quantum information can be transported from one black hole to another. The theory requires quantum gravity, which Gödel believes will resolve the information paradox. This is because quantum gravity is a necessary condition to make wormholes work in the physical universe. And even if the wormholes do exist, quantum information can be leaked from their interiors. The paradox is a logical consequence of the fact that black holes have multiple topologies. While this does not mean that black holes are completely empty, it does mean that there are two kinds of topology. One type of topology has many possible histories. Using a different wormhole solution would result in a single black hole with multiple topologies. A wormhole would be the most likely candidate for the black hole information paradox. Speculative fiction stories that suggest parallel universes. There are many different types of speculative fiction stories that suggest parallel universes, and each one has its own unique approach. Some of the most famous parallel universe stories were written centuries ago, and others are largely fictional. The Blazing World by Margaret Cavendish, published in 1666, is a classic example of science fiction. The story follows a young woman who travels beyond the North Pole and discovers a parallel universe inhabited by talking animals. Eventually, she takes over and changes the course of the parallel world. Various television series have explored the possibility of parallel universes. The Flash, a superhero show, has been known to have a multiverse with many different worlds, each containing its own unique characters. However, this multiverse was destroyed in the Arrowverse crossover in Crisis on Infinite Earths, but has since been revived as a connected series of DC television shows. Another example of a parallel universe is the television show Lost in Austin, in which a modern woman accidentally travels back in time and meets Jane Austen. Another example of a parallel world is the radio drama Fifth Dimension, which involves a chemistry teacher slipping into an alternate universe populated by aliens. Despite the widespread use of the parallel worlds concept in speculative fiction, the idea has yet to be explored seriously by most writers. Some of the best-known examples are the works of A. Merritt and Edgar Rice Burroughs. The Blind Spot is a pulp